How's it going, boys? My name is Schlatt, and welcome back to Inbox, the show that's about big ducks, apparently. Yeah, I bought this thing on Amazon. It was, oh, Jesus Christ, way too big. All right, I'll just wait. Yeah, it came wrapped in like a body bag with the legs sticking out. Kind of horrifying, to be honest. But anyways, let's get started. We got a couple questions today. So, I'm going to be forward about this. I've known I'm not straight for a year now. I would ask my friends for advice, but half of them are either homophobic or going through the same thing that I am now. I really want to tell my parents because I know it would really help me with letting them know about a lot going on in my personal life, but I can't seem to muster up the courage to tell them. To make it easier for you, do you have any advice for telling parents about something deep and personal that you feel they might not be happy about? Thanks so much for always making me laugh with your streams and YouTube videos. Hope you play FNAF 4 sometimes. Jeez, FNAF 4 fanboy, huh? Let me tell you something. If FNAF 4 is anything like FNAF 3, there's no chance in hell I'm going to play it. Okay, you want to tell your parents? I don't know the situation you got with your parents. I don't know if they're awful people. Who knows? What you do know is that you'd like to tell them. And in that case, I think you should. I read this and I was called back to a distant memory of mine that I had in middle school. I was in 6th grade, and at the time I was getting, straight A's across the board. Didn't even have to pick up a book, and I just nail everything. So I had an English language arts test one time in 6th grade. This is like a grammar test, and it was about indirect objects and direct objects, and I've been historically terrible with grammar and all those kinds of terms because I just don't care. I feel like I can I feel like I can speak English well enough. I don't need to know what like a gerund is. Can we all agree on that? Like, is Ludwig the only person who cares about this kind of stuff? I know he's an English major. It might upset him. All right. So I get this test back, and I remember it was handed to me upside down, which had never happened to me in the class before. Every other piece of paper I got from the teacher was like, handed to me. She'd smile, and there'd be like a big 100 on it with a smiley face. And this one was handed to me upside down, so I knew I was in for a bit of a culture shock. I turned it over, and there was a 79 on the front in red pen. And oh my God, I nearly had a stroke. I hadn't gotten anything lower than like a 95 in the class for the whole fucking year. And I remember being so upset and like nervous because not that my parents were really like so strict that you had to do well, but I guess they had kind of expected one thing from me, and then to turn everything on its head and say, have to, reveal to them that I almost failed a test, that was going to be rough. And so I remember getting on the bus that day, and I was so nervous that I called my mom while I was on the bus, while the bus was taking me home to see her. And I would have been home in like a couple minutes, and I felt the urge to call her to admit to her that I got a 79 on an English test. And I said it to her through tears. Like I was holding back tears. I thought my life was over. I was such a little fucking pussy back then. And as it turns out, she didn't care as much as I thought she was going to. She she reminded me of the fact that she still loved me. And then I got home and I just did better on the next test. And that's really the whole story. I mean, it has nothing to do with coming out, but I suppose it has something to do with your expectations when you have to tell your parents something you don't want to tell them necessarily. But in this case, if it's something that you think is going to help you, I think you should do it. And I remember this specifically from a Woody's Gamertag Mail Monday episode, which is basically the entire inspiration for this whole channel and the whole Inbox series. Like it's so directly based off of Woody's Gamertag. It's kind of nuts. I remember a lot from that show, and specifically one quote that stuck with me is when you're faced with doing something that seems daunting, right? Like say you're trying to ask out a girl, or in your case, a very hot guy, or you're trying to jump off a cliff, because Woody did that kind of stuff. He was a bit of a risk taker, right? And he'd jump off of cliffs into the water. All it takes when you're doing something like that is for you to be brave for like 1 second. All you need is a second of bravery, and then the rest takes care of itself. The rest kind of falls into place. The girl says, yes, I would like to go out with you. Or you just start falling into the water and you're fine, Or in this case, your parents are like, yeah, sure, we accept that. And and you feel an enormous weight off your chest. That's what I think's going to happen. You need like 20 seconds of bravery here, tops. And if you can muster that, I think it'll benefit you. So good luck. Hi Schlatt, I've been watching your stuff for a couple months now and really enjoy it. Keep up the good work. Now to get to the point, about a year ago, my first girlfriend broke up with me, and it put me in a really bad place mentally. I tried to talk with one of my friends as a way to figure out what to do, and he told me to just move on and that there were other fish in the sea almost immediately, which just wasn't what I think I needed to hear at the time. But I tried to move on, and I thought I had until school started back up and I saw her in the halls, and I realized I hadn't moved on and that I still was hung up over her. So my question is, do you have any advice on what I should do to help me move on? Thanks, Schlatt, and keep up the great work. Hey, man, if there's anything you should know about me, it's that I am not really a shoulder to cry on. If someone comes to me with a problem, I tend to be a kind of person who's going to give them a solution. And in this case, the logical, cliche thing I'm about to say, which is pretty much exactly the answer your friend gave you, is time heals all wounds. You owe it to yourself not to care more about your past than your future. Do yourself that favor. Not gonna lie though, the first thing I thought, and it obviously is not gonna help much, but hey, if it helps one person, then I'll have done a good deed. The first thing I thought was to picture her typing no and then a heart emoji at the end of a comment, or writing period with a T at the end, or using the nail painting emoji. Anything that you could associate with her that'll make you believe that that you're not missing much, even though you might be. Who knows? That's what I thought. I'm sorry. But hey, man, one of the things I actually like about this channel and the community we have here is that there's a fuck ton of people in the comments who've gone through the same kind of shit. So if there's anyone who's more suited for this kind of advice, I'd implore you to leave a comment, and we can start some good discussions about that. That's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to become a channel member, you can. It's $5, and you get the little Modern Warfare 2 prestige icons next to your name in the comments. It's pretty cool. Up to you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.